All right. Are we live here? I think we are. Welcome to the A Push Green YouTube channel. I see there's a couple people here, so you could drop your name and say what's up. Yeah, this is going to be chapter 2 and 3 podcast. I'm trying to figure out this whole. I don't do it that much, so sometimes it gets. I'm not like a professional streamer or Twitcher or I don't know, however you call those people. But yeah, definitely. Oh, there we go. I'll pop out the chat. So if you are here, say hi. I mean, if you're shy, you don't have to. It's not a big deal. But yeah. So this is chapter 2 and 3. And I'll try to get these. The first one is huge. If you opened up the PowerPoint at all, it's like 120 slides. We're not going to do 120 slides. Hey, Murray, how are you? Let me clean my glasses off here real quick. Hold on. Yeah, it's like 120 slides. So just we're going to go through them pretty quickly. If you can always, I don't know. But we're not going to go through all those slides. There's 120 of them. That's impossible. Hey, Sophia. How are you doing? How are you? Good to, not see you here. But no, I'm not, I'd rather see you in class, right? But thank you for tuning in. I know this is extra work out of the classroom. But this is, necessary for us to get this thing done, right? And this will help you kind of understand these first chapters, which will help you understand chapter 6 and 7 that we're currently working on, right? We're going to do chapter 7 tomorrow. So without further ado, if you've never seen the channel before, we do have an intro with some music provided by an A-Push alumnus who's currently at UCF. His name is Danny. And you'll see it. I put it together a couple years ago when we went to the YouTubes. Injura, I don't know who you are, but hello. I don't know your name, because it's not on there, but hello to you too. Okay, here we go. And then I'll be right back. All right. Sweet. Hopefully you guys like that thing. That took forever to do, especially when you don't do a lot of, digital stuff like me. So, yeah, let's make me smaller because you don't need to see that much of me. Ooh, that was a little too much. There we go. And then let's bring out our... There we go. The contest for North America. 1500 to 1664, in case you can't read, which I know you all can. Let's get down into this thing. All right. So this ends with France is kind of getting into North America. All right. Let me see what we got here on there that we're gonna keep. This is a huge slideshow, so I'll tell you guys what you really need to know. We talked about this before. France was a latecomer, right? They're relatively late in compared to the English and the Spanish. And it's going to show, right? We all know what happens. French and Indian War, they get... George Washington starts that one, right? So the big thing is Quebec. That's at the beginning. That's one of the main things. And Samuel D. Champlain, don't need any of that. There we go. No, we're good. I know you guys are gonna be like, what are you doing? Oh, trying to get me updates on my computer. I don't need that. Let's keep going. Jeez, Adobe, stop it. What are you doing? All right. You guys are like, get it together, Mr. Green. I'm trying. So, New France, right? The beaver. French fur trappers. We've talked about it, right? That's how the whole French and Indian War started, right? But this is why they came over for it, okay? Baton Rouge, Terre Haute, I guess that's how you say it. In Des Moines. No, I think it's Des Moines. I don't know. I'm just guessing on the French pronunciation of those. Maybe one of you guys speaks French and you can give me pointers later on. So they're gonna get Native Americans into it, and they took advantage of the Native Americans. They worked with them more than the English did, but it wasn't like let's live harmoniously, right? But because it was a mass slaughter, like the Native Americans were like, beavers are good for a lot of different things. So they didn't care about catching some of them, but just mass, just like killing as many as they possibly can. And if you've ever seen the movie The Revenant, which is a very intense movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, and he won the Best Picture, or he won Best Actor. It didn't win Best Picture. It should have, but it's all about beaver trapping and fur trapping and the fight with the Native Americans. You should, if you've never seen it, you should watch it. I'll give you movie things all the time. You guys know that. I see a couple people joined in. If you want to say hi, tell me hi. If not, oh well. You do you. And so this just kind of shows all the different Native American tribes and where they are. The Cherokee, there's going to be a big one that we talk about. The Sioux, the Cheyenne, the Pawnee. These are going to be big ones that we talk about later on, okay? No, don't worry about that. Nope, don't worry about that. Oh, car brake. Oh, right. You guys haven't gotten a car brake yet. I'm skipping through things. You're just landing on a car brake. This car is crazy. I'm not going to go through it too much and waste your time here online at night. But it's beautiful. It's made by Gordon Murray. It's the T50. They just released it. It's going to be a V12. If you see where you're sitting in it, it's kind of crazy. You sit in the middle like the original McLaren F1, if you know what I'm talking about. But look at that thing. Look how awesome that is. I really like cars. So that thing is, it's only like, I think it's like 2 mil, something like that. So not that much. And yes, that's a fan. It's there to help with aerodynamics and all kinds of stuff that have to do with physics, right? There's another shot of a different kind. That's the original McLaren F1. So that's what it was based on. Okay. North America 1600, right? And this is getting into the nit and gritty. I guess that's what we're trying to say here. The English at Jamestown, okay, 1607. That's going to be important, right? Very original name, named after King James, right? Okay, here we go. England, right? They broke with the Catholic Church. This is the big one, right? You're going to have a lot of religious conflict, and you need to know Henry VIII, how he broke off with the Catholic Church. And it was because he wanted to get a divorce, because he thought that his wife wasn't giving him a male heir. We all know it's the man's fault, right? It's not the man's fault. It's up to the man, whether or not it's a boy or a girl, right? We know that now. Back then, you can't blame the guy, you can't blame the king, so they blame the female. And he wanted a divorce. And in the Catholic Church, you can't get a divorce, right? The Pope was like, nope, stick with her. You said till death do you part, right? But he was like, nope, till I destroy the church. That's when it ends. So here he is. Well, that is head Captain Fancy Pants. Can't even see his pants, but you can really see what his pants. You can think about what his pants look like, and I'm sure they're crazy. So he disbands, gets rid of the Catholic Church in England, and what he does then is he creates a new church. All right, and that skipped pretty quickly. Yeah. Okay. And Queen Elizabeth took the throne in 1558. This made it. Hey, buddy. I got a dog. His name is Spencer. He's sitting right here. He came up and was like, hey, bud, what's going on? Do you want to say hi? Really early. Do you want to say hi? I bet he doesn't, though. we'll do that in a minute. Hey, Mad. I don't know who that is, but tell me who you are. So the Catholic Church is a big rivalry between Queen Elizabeth and the Catholic Church. All right. Don't worry about that one. So Queen Elizabeth, 1533 to 1603. Right. Very popular. I was trying to say powerful and popular at the same time. Right. But she was. They made a great movie about her. I know I'm saying another movie called Elizabeth, originally named. Very creative, but it's great. There's Elizabeth I and then Elizabeth the Golden Age, played by Kate Blanchett. I've been talking a long time today, so forgive me if I mess up some stuff. Then, we don't need announcements, right? So she is going to really encourage expansion here, and she's going to be the one that's going to really lead to colonial things for the English, okay? So don't worry about that. There she is. Look at that dress. That thing's insane. Oh, I changed my name. Oh, this is Madison Noyd. Hey, Madison. Oh, yeah, I remember you. Yeah, thank you for saying hi. Yeah, I didn't recognize your name. Thank you for saying hi. And A-Push alumni dropping in. Good to see you. Good to see you. But look at this dress. Look at that thing. Can you imagine how long that thing takes to make? And that's what she was known for. It's really cool in the movie. Some of the costumes. Okay. So we get sea dogs. These are pirates. And the famous one is Sir Francis Drake, right? Spencer, you want to say hi? I know you keep bumping me. Come here. Come here. Where you at? Come here. Oh, I know. Oh. Say hi. You want to give him some doggy ASMR? What? Say, my name is Spencer. I'm 13 years old. I don't like the cats that run around in my backyard. And I'm very nervous because I like it when my daddy is not in this room. I like being on my other beds. Right? Okay. You're going to say hi and get real close? Oh, there we go. Okay. There you go, buddy. He wanted to say hi. He kept bumping me. So sea dogs, right? That was just a good time to do it, right? Dogs. Yeah, Spencer. Madison, remember Spencer. Sir Spencer. And Francis Drake, him and Elizabeth had a little thing. And he's doing a good job, right? They're stealing stuff from Spain. Because Spain's bringing back all these gold and silver from Central and South America. And so that's what they're doing. And they're filling the coffers of the treasure troves of England, right? That's what they're doing. There he goes. Look at that guy. Look at that facial hair. It's funny stuff. I see people like that now. Cracks me up. So here he goes attacking a Spanish treasure ship. It's got to be careful, right? You can't sink it because then the treasure just sinks, right? Imagine how much treasure is just sitting on the bottom of the ocean all over the place. We should all try to get some, but we don't. Now, Newfoundland. They try to get into Newfoundland. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about this, okay? This guy, he kind of looks like Sir Francis Drake, right? It's not. Different guy. Now, Roanoke. This is the one this is the first one, but this one doesn't become permanent. So this one's right on the coast of North Carolina, okay? Virginia, sorry. But it's, present day. 1585, all right? But this one, they all disappeared. They came back. They dropped them off. They went home. They came back. They were gone. No signs of a struggle. Nothing. All right, thanks, Madison. I'll see you later. Go eat that food. But the Roanoke people, they just disappeared. Nobody knows what happens. Aliens, man. Aliens. Really? I mean, we don't know. We have no idea. Like, really no idea. So, here's Sir Walter Raleigh. Fancy pants. And you can see Roanoke Island here. Okay? So this is North Carolina. It's like I'm not 100% sure if it's North Carolina. I think it is because this is Cape Hatteras. This is North Carolina and like present day North Carolina. But this is Roanoke Island. Okay. And they never hear from them again. Hey, what's up, Ellie? What's up, Victoria? You guys just missed Spencer. He was up here. You can rewind it and go see my dog. He's kind of cool. Don't worry about that. Spanish Armada. Hugely important, right? You'll definitely have something when we take the test on this. But you just kind of need to understand what was happening, right? The Catholic king, he wanted to take over England because they were Protestant. He wanted them to be Catholic. So he built this huge flotilla of ships. Oh, thank you, Ellie. And they sailed for England. They tried to attack England. They would have conquered England if they could have gotten there. It's huge. I mean, massive undertaking. This was a gamble for King Philip because he put, basically all his chips in the basket, right? When you're playing poker, put all his chips in there. And when he did it, they attacked it. Wow. Like I said, I've been talking a long time today. We've done 6 lectures. This will be 7 and 8. All right. So they had a huge storm, and they called it the Protestant wind, because they were Protestant attacking the Catholics. Okay. There you go. Beautiful picture. I'm not one of those people that are like huge into like art, like paintings like this, but this one, I don't know, with the flames and the blue and the green, I don't know. It's beautiful. But the Spanish Armada lost. Okay. And that is key because from then on, Spain never gets any bigger, right? So they had been attacked. They'd been, really not bigger, but more powerful. I know we talk about in the end of French and Indian War, they get French Louisiana, but they're never as powerful as they are at this point. From here on out, they're going down. I'll make hand motions down here, and you guys won't see them, so I'll try to remember to put them up top. And you have, it took 3 more centuries for empire to fully unravel. Spain lost its overseas colonies, right? They lost everything because of the Spanish Armada. So if Spanish Armada would have won, maybe I'm speaking to you right now in Spanish because the colonies would have been Spanish rather than English, more than likely. So, it's key. So they really, like I said, sowing the seeds of their own destruction, right? They're ones destroying themselves. Okay. We don't need any of that. They got a peace treaty. We're good to go. No. We're not worrying about that. Nope. Okay. Joint stock company. You need to know this term. I'm pretty sure it's one of your vocab or your note cards. Basically, it's a corporation where people buy in to have, and they're going to start a colony. They're going to send people over to try and make some money. All right. And that's in the early 1600s. So they were called adventurers. That's why I put it there. So they're trying to finance trips to the New World. So these are the things we have: peace with Spain, population, unemployment, people ready to go, seek new fortunes. But the problem is they're doing it for the wrong reasons. See, he's moving. Oh, he's leaving. Spencer's like, I'm out of here, man. And so, yeah, that's what we got going. Oh, mean break. Yeah, it was a mistake. Everything was a mistake before July 4th. If you don't know who that is, shame on you. Shame. Right? That's Ron Swanson, Parks and Rec. Better than The Office. I don't care what you say. So we get Virginia, the Virgin Queen Elizabeth. Spoiler alert, she was not. But she had to portray that because she wasn't married, right? That's how it was back then. She had a lot of different suitors. Sir Francis Drake was one of them, right? You know. So we get the whole purpose of them, like I put on there, was gold, right? They want to get to the Indies. That's still a thing, right? Because they haven't figured out everything yet. But the whole point of this was to get rich quick. Going to the Americas was to get rich quick, okay? So Virginia Company gets one of the first charters, and let me keep going here. Hold on. So the James River, 1607, Jamestown, okay? So this is the first permanent English settlement, Jamestown. Roanoke wasn't permanent, didn't last very long. They all disappeared. Remember, aliens, right? Jamestown is the first one, okay? If you're new and you haven't said hi, say hi. I'd like to hear from you. If you're coming, I mean, we only have 5 people watching, so. There's a lot of mosquitoes. It's really hard times here for these people in Jamestown, okay? So here you go. Look at this guy. He's like, yes, thank you for delivering me to the land, right? And they're all he's probably going to die, just so you know. That's what it looks like, the fort, when they built it there, 1607, right? So 400 years ago. This is what it kind of looks like. This is not a picture drone shot. Hey, Mia. How's it going? Thanks for tuning in to the old 8-Push Green YouTube channel. What's up, buddy? Let's see what we got. Okay. So the nightmare at Jamestown. These guys wouldn't work. They were gentlemen. They came over there. They literally thought there was going to be like jewels just on the ground and they could just reach down and pick them up. But the problem was they were looking for gold and jewels. They literally didn't bring stuff to farm with, right? You can't just show up somewhere without any way of eating. I don't know. To me, that's a big part of living, right? Is eating. So they didn't get, that's what it says. You know, settlers died by the dozens due to disease, malnutrition, and starvation. These jokers were eating their shoes. Shoes were made out of leather back then, all of them, right? You can eat leather. It's been tanned and it's gross, but you will get some caloric intake from it, right? It gets real. That's the least of the horrible things they eat. We'll go over that in a little bit, in a second here. So John Smith, this guy shows up, takes control. You even had one guy who tried to eat his wife. Cannibalism, right? He got burned at the stake. I know, it's gross. So he came up with this thing. You shall not work, shall not eat. All right, there he is. The guy's got some great facial hair. Way better than mine. I don't know. Mine's a little gray though. He's red. Hey, Ella. How's it going? Oh, we got 6 people watching it now. Good for you. Good for you. Good for us. But the starving time, right? Dogs, cats, rats, mice. Cannibalism. Ate his wife. Man, that's some harsh stuff, right? But look at that. 400 people. Only 60 survived. It's a lot of dying. So it wasn't good times. All right, so Jamestown. This is where Pocahontas comes in. We're not going to really... Yeah. So she is very important in kind of helping these people get what they need done. Okay. Yeah. Pocahontas, John Smith. That's right. Yeah, it was, so I put quote unquote saved him because they weren't really going to kill him, but, she really got in between the two and helped them with the food and and help them learn how to farm and stuff like that. Okay, we're not to the Pilgrims yet, so don't be thinking about the Pilgrims. Yeah, that's what the movie was based on. Oh, the Pocahontas movie? It was based on how she saved him, quote unquote, saved him, like fake saved him. Huh. I never watched the movie. I'm sorry. All right. There she is. That's in her, English get up. They brought her back to England. There she is, saving him. Over the top of him, about to chop his head off. Bad times. But she saved him. And let's see. They tried to leave and get out of there. Didn't work. Yeah, 1,200 people out of 8,000 by 1625. So a lot of people. Yeah, but Pocahontas is, come on, really? I mean, it's a cartoon, and it came out when I was like late in high school, I think. Or like even in my first year of college. Like, I'm not watching Pocahontas. I'm sorry. And I never went back and watched it. Trust me, I watch enough historical movies. That's my wheelhouse. You guys trying to call me out, man. No, we're going to keep going. It did and started deteriorating their relationships between them. Thank you, Ellie. She came to my defense. Real historical movies. I do watch a lot of historical movies. I love them. They're some of my favorites. But there's a new one coming out called The Duel. Oh, it looks great. It's got Adam Driver in it. Who else is in it? A bunch of good people. Look it up. It looks good. What do we got here? Anglo-Powhatan War. Yeah. We have two. First and the second. That's all you need to know, right? They get a piece because John Rolfe marries Pocahontas, right? So we get a little John's, she saved John Smith, marries John Rolfe, and they're going to bring her back. There you go. That looks kind of weird with the Native Americans and a, Western style marriage ceremony. And so they had to baptize her before she could get married to John Rolfe. She had to take up his religion. All right. So yeah, we're gonna skip this. Indians get defeated. Second Powhatan War. It separated the things. Now again, I know I'm kind of going through this fast. They did her wrong. Trust me. They brought her back to England and paraded her around, and then she caught a disease and died. Right? Yeah, they did her wrong. They did all the Native Americans wrong. Not even Pogohontas, right? They did all of them, all the way across the country. All of them wrong. So yeah, justice for all of them. Hashtag justice for Native Americans. They're like, some people are like, oh, they get the casinos. Oh, they had the entire continent. And we're like, hey, here's a little area. You get your casino, right? Do your gambling thing, right? But, well, that's a topic for another discussion, right? So this separated them. This is very important. Second Powhatan War kind of really separated everybody at this point, okay? Then we get to the Chesapeake, all right? The Chesapeake is important because of the land that it is, all right? And when we talk about it today, this is Maryland, Virginia, and current, and it is very low land. So it's almost like a swamp. Like Washington, D.C. is a swamp. That's why if you go there in the summer, it's crazy hot. Yeah, just the whole continent. The whole shebang-a-bang, right? So the Chesapeake, when we talk about the Chesapeake, we're going to be talking about Virginia and Maryland, okay? So in the future, You know, on the test, if you say the Chesapeake, it's Virginia, Maryland. Chesapeake, tobacco, Chesapeake, Virginia, Maryland, Virginia, Chesapeake. Okay? All the same thing. All right? No. Keep going. So, this is what happens to all the Native Americans. The 3 Ds. Disease, disorganization, and disposability. Disease just annihilates them like it did in Central and South America. They were not organized. Remember, we talked about at the very beginning, well, if you watch chapter 1, Native Americans on the East Coast were not organized other than the Iroquois. All right? So they were not like the Aztecs. They were not like the Incas. They were small individual tribes that didn't organize together to fight the English as they were moving in. And then as they became, you know, they didn't need them anymore, the disposability. Okay? So they just kind of killed them and didn't worry about them. There you go. You can see there. It's a direct, you know, XY axis with the, you know, parabolic microphone and the, you know, imaginary numbers with the integers and stuff. That's what happens on that screen right there. You can kind of see, right? The x squared plus y squared equals c squared, that type of stuff. So, yes, disease, smallpox, measles decimated the Native Americans, okay? Disorganization, I just talked about all this, so I'm not going to... yeah, we're good. Shock. Okay. No, we don't need that. Now, horses, right? The horsies. These really changed the Native Americans, all right? Because they get to the Great Plains, which when you think of Native Americans, you think of buffalo and all this stuff, right? So, this is huge for them. This is going to be the Pawnee and the Sioux. They're going to have their entire lives changed by the introduction of the horse. And when you think of Native Americans, Indians, you think of the horse, right? Well, they didn't have them until the Spanish brought them. So, yeah, it changed those. They really loved it. Allowed them to hunt the buffalo much better. All right. Let's see here. So here's a big problem here. A lot of Native American tribes, and that's why we don't know a lot about them, is because they did not have a written language. It was all oral. So if you killed the old people that knew all the stories, then, you know, the tribe died. And so you could see some groups got back together, formed different tribes. Very sad situation all the way across, right? And I know we don't talk about it enough in this class, and I really wish we could talk about it more because, you know, their story needs to be told. And I would really, you know, I would love to teach a class about, like, all the American history that's not an AP US, right? All the stuff that College Board never really talks about. And that would be like the underserved, the Native Americans, the Irish, more of African American history, slaves. I know we have an African American history class and stuff, but, you know, I think that would be a good class to take or teach, right? So this is the sickness, smallpox. They're dying. Tons of them. All right. The firearms, introduction of firearms to the Native Americans really changed them, right? Because you have bow and arrow. Yes, you can fire a bow and arrow faster than a firearm, but at some point, you know, it just, the gun works a little bit better than the... Hey, what's up, Sydney? Thanks for saying hi. As people tune in, I hope you say hi at least, right? Say hi, and then some people are like, deuces, we got better stuff to do. I understand. But you will be tested on this next week. So, you know, I would listen a little bit at least, you know. But thank you for saying hi, Sydney. Nice to see you. Or not see you. I don't see you. You know, I hear you see your name here. Yeah. Okay. What else we got here? Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, Indians on the Atlantic coast were definitely the most effective. Okay, so as you know, the English landed, it was the people on the Indians, the native tribes on the East Coast that suffered the most because they came in first contact, right? And then as we move through the class, we're going to have this across the Canada. Oh, you guys can't see my hands, right? Across the continent. It's like this wave of white settlers, you know, pushing the Native Americans, you know, onto reservations off their land, blah, 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 all the way across until manifest destiny. We reach the Pacific, and then we're conquerors of all, right? So this is tobacco, stolen from Spain. Important, hashtag, TikTok, Snapgram, whatever. This is important, okay? John Rolfe brought it over. And if he doesn't bring this over, who knows what happens? He steals them. We don't know how he got the seeds. No idea. He brings them over, and Virginia is perfect. Perfect for tobacco, right? We've already talked about like how tobacco, the English settlers had a monopoly because, you know, we just had an RCQ about that, right? But this is where it starts. So they start making money. And tobacco is insatiable for the Europeans. They're insatiate by it. Just smoking, pipes, all kinds of stuff. Cigars, all of it. So they're finding out that Virginia is the best place to grow it. So as you can see here, I'm like, they're pushing out the Indians, pushing out the Native Americans. All right. That's what it looks like. Tobacco. Big. It's actually kind of cool looking. You know? What if you could just like grow it in your backyard? Yeah, tobacco addicts. Ugh. I never smoked. I think I smoked just one cigarette, and I was like, gross. Never again. Right? Tried it once. Gross. And then you look at people now, and you're like, man, don't do it. But that's what it looks like. But tobacco, the big thing to remember about tobacco, it's the poor man's product. Oh, you got a mean break. There you go. I'll take a water break while you guys look at that. I don't know, growing it. I mean, maybe if you didn't use it, it's not like it's, you know, marijuana or something. I think it's just a pretty looking plant, right? It's kind of cool looking plant. Those big old leaves. I don't know. I'm not saying I am. Don't go reporting me to Dr. King. I'm just saying it looks pretty. Oh. So here's the thing. This is what makes, we were just talking about this in class today, right? Virginia. They're so important. Remember, they're like, we don't like you, England, all that stuff. Yeah, stop talking about DIY tobacco farm. You're going to get me in trouble. So this is what makes them so much money. And this is what makes them populous, people moving in, because they want to make the money. And because, I don't think I put it here, tobacco is called the poor man's crop. Okay? I guess that makes sense for me because I'm, you know, teacher poor. It's cheap to grow. It's not like sugar. We talked about sugar. Sugar is called the rich man's crop because you have to process it so much. And it's tons and tons of labor. You do need labor for tobacco on a large scale, but you can just grow tobacco as like a single, you know, farmer. It's not really, you don't have to. Because all you do is grow it, cut the leaves off, dry the leaves, process them, and then you're done. So 1619. This is the first time Africans are sold on the continent. That's why you had a thing called the 1619 Project. So that's the whole Juneteenth. That's the 1619. This is when African slaves are brought here, and that is for tobacco. So, you know, tobacco, no good, right? All around. Bad for you, caused us to bring in slaves, right? So here's an image. It's not a picture, right? Drawing of the slaves landing. You know, the poor conditions. We'll go over that. The poor conditions of slaves. There was not a lot of slaves, right? It was very expensive to own them. But Virginia had a lot of them, right? So, and the reason why, we'll be talking about the North and South and slavery and stuff like that ad nauseum, just a whole bunch of that. But it's really at the beginning because the crops, there was no need for slaves up north, right? So at the beginning, there's really no need for slaves. Plus, there's different groups of people up there that really, are naturally, like the Quakers, they're against slavery and stuff like that. So that helps too. But the crops do not need slaves. So that's why they really don't have them up north. Okay? It's not to say that those people, and we're going to be going over this fact, people from the north are not like they're racist. Really racist throughout history, okay? But they don't have slaves. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that they didn't need them. Some of them had big problems with it, and we'll get through all that. But this is the number one thing, is because at the beginning, they didn't need them. They couldn't use them, okay? House of Burgesses. That's how you pronounce it, okay? This is mini parliament, like a Congress, legislative body, all right? The House of Burgesses. We talked about it the other day. They're the ones, we talked about it today, that issued the Virginia Resolves, right? So, if you're new, if you're coming in, I know there's people coming in and out. Say hi. Say what's up. So, Virginia gets made a royal colony. Don't worry about that. Now, Lord Baltimore. Right? That's how Baltimore got its name. Is Catholic, and it's kind of like been a Catholic thing forever, because that's how it was founded. And so Maryland, that's what it was founded by, Lord Baltimore, and it was for Catholic. So this is going to make up our Chesapeake Bay, Virginia and Maryland. All right. It's just for Catholics. So just think Maryland, for the Catholics to come over, because remember, England is no longer Catholic, it's Protestant. Okay? How long have we been doing this thing? 50 minutes? Holy crap. Oh, no, 44. Okay. Man, this is a lot. I forgot how much is in chapter 2. We might have to break this up. I don't think I can go past 8 o'clock here. I thought I could get through this faster. I really didn't realize how big this slideshow is. I'm going to keep going on here. Maryland, tobacco, like I said, the 3 things. Chesapeake Bay, that's 4, John. Chesapeake Bay, Maryland, tobacco, Virginia. Those 4 things, one and the same, all together. Maryland obviously doesn't become as big as Virginia later on, but they're all, you kind of put them together, all right? Yeah, so 1619, first slaves, late 1600s, that's when slaves start really ramping up, being brought in, okay? So the freedom of religion in Maryland, that's fine. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Nope. Okay, so the West Indies. England is going to get, parts of the West Indies. You have to know this difference, okay? You needed a lot of capital for sugar. Rich man's crop. Tobacco is poor man's crop, okay? You have to know these differences between these two. It's going to play vital roles going throughout American history, okay? So just make sure you know that. Water. All right, let's keep going. Sugar. Okay. I got lost there for a second. Sugar. This is the big one, right? This is huge numbers of people are needed. And eventually we'll get sugar in Louisiana and Florida. If you don't know what sugarcane looks like, you can just drive 45 minutes west and you can see it. But they need slaves, a lot of slaves. So this is really, it's going to be sugar, and then eventually rice and cotton in North America. But sugar's a big one. They start bringing them into the West Indies, to those islands down in the Caribbean. All right, and that's why a lot of those islands are black to this day, right? And this is where 12 Years a Slave. You can click on this. I'm not going to click on this, but there's a part in here later on. You can pull it up. Where they kind of show what cutting it is. And 12 Years a Slave will be something you'll be able to watch as extra credit later on. Great movie. Talk about historically accurate. Who was saying that? Sophia. Yeah, ironic. You never watched Pocahontas. Yeah, this is the movie, right? I'm just messing with you. 12 Years a Slave. Crazy historically accurate. Horrific story. But we'll read that book actually later. Now, they have the Barbados Slave Code of 1661. You need to know those. It gave people control because number one fear was slave revolts. Okay. And it really, it influenced later on. There's going to be slave codes in the United States. Okay. Oh, yeah. This is reminding me. This is a crazy fact. So sugar was so lucrative. They're like, guess what? We're not even growing food on these islands. We are just growing sugar. They're like, nope, potatoes. Nope. We can make more money with sugar. We'll grow potatoes in North America and have the food shipped in. I mean, back then when shipping was, not Amazon overnight, right? That's a lot of money to ship food in back then. But that's how much money they were making on sugar. So you need it's a key fact there. No, we're good with that. Don't worry about that. Charles the First, off with his head. No, don't worry about it. I'll tell you when we're gonna stop. This is a pause break. I'll hum. Hey, buddy, you back? Oh my gosh, I'm so lonely out there. That's my voice for him. Come on, man. Stop this. They've heard enough. I know, buddy. I'm sure they want me to stop too. So this is Georgia. You can see you got Spanish Florida down there. Georgia's going to be a buffer colony, kind of keep out the Spanish from getting into the English colonies. From beheading of Charles I. I don't know. I'm not big up on my English history because I've been teaching American history for so long that I know the American history that really affects or the English history that affects American history. I'm not sure. Not sure, Ellie. I can't remember. I'm sorry. So here we go. Yeah, we got this. Don't need this. Oh. Another meme break. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was wondering if you were talking about like off with her head with Marie Antoinette, stuff like that. This one was like we have a substitute first period. I had one kid one time, man, he was great though, but he would bring in like sandwiches first hour, and it was so funny. Yeah, the French Revolution. We'll talk about the French Revolution. We'll talk about it because they got a lot of their, inspiration from helping us. Now, Carolina is rice, okay? So, and we'll go over this, but the areas, Chesapeake, tobacco. Carolinas, Georgia, rice until we get to, cotton. But even cotton is going to be a little bit more west, Mississippi, Alabama, stuff like that, okay? So this is rice, is the Carolinas. So they like the College Board likes you to know that type of stuff. Okay. Slaves were a majority in Carolina at this point. Rice, very, very labor intensive as well. Again, labor intensive crops mean they need slaves, so that's why they bring them in. Okay. And then the cotton gin is going to be the number one thing that brings the slaves to the United States. But we'll get to that. So there they are, work on a rice plantation, horrible life, chained together by your neck, just horrendous situation, right? But we got to learn about it. We got to look at the bad stuff with the good stuff, right? That's the number one thing you got to do as a historian studying history. You don't look at just all the, nice, fuzzy, good stuff. I mean, obviously, fuzzy tar and feathering is not the good stuff. Sorry if I scarred anybody with that viewing this morning. So we get Charlestown, and it becomes Charleston, right? That's going to be the big port in the South throughout Southern history, all the way through the Civil War. New Orleans, springs up too. So there we go. You don't need any of that. The video was intense. Yeah, it's intense. Especially because that was just like you just watched that little part, like the whole build up and then afterwards, and the whole series, those first 2 episodes are just really, really good. They're really good. You'll like them. But that is an intense scene. That is the truth. North Carolina. Okay, this is good. You don't need any of this. Nope. Georgia. Okay, last of the colonies to be founded. Named after King George. I told you they got really creative with the naming on these things. So, 126 years after the first one. And we always think about America. We're so old, right? The colonies, right? 1733, this is 30 years before we're founded, right? The colonies were only 80 years younger than us right now, right? They started in 1607. This is 1733, right? So they've been around 126 years. So Georgia's the last, fun fact, not that big a deal. Like I said, Georgia is the buffer colony. Sorry, make sure I'm talking into the mic. They put debtors in there. They don't really want slavery, but eventually it gets into all the colonies. Okay, you just can't. They couldn't stop it. But it is a buffer colony. That's what you need to know about Georgia as far as colonies are concerned. At least at the beginning. Okay, it's a buffer to Spain. All right. Then you get Savannah. It's a big port city, really cool city. If you want to go check out a place, it's kind of cool to hang out at. That's definitely it's a big port city. That's the only thing you need to know about Savannah. Port, Savannah, Charleston in the south, and then New Orleans, right, are the big ones. Again, I'm moving my hand down here, and you guys can't see it, but that's how I talk. So, yeah, well, it's almost over. I think we're about done. So, yeah, this is the last one. Chapter 3 is really short, but I'm not going to try and do it right now. That's just a little too much. My voice is getting, it's done. So what you should have learned from this is how these colonies started. What's the important ones? Virginia, Georgia, it's a buffer colony, the Chesapeake, Maryland, tobacco, rice, Carolinas, wordplay association I'm doing there. So make sure you know that as you go and you read through the chapters, because you're doing the chapter questions, because those are due next Friday. Okay, don't sleep on these things, right? Because I didn't give you guys a first week packet that was due in 5 days like every other class has gotten for the last 4 years. So you've gotten 3 weeks to do it. And I'm not saying it's not a lot of work. I'm just saying don't wait till next week to start on this stuff. This is chapter 2. Chapter 2. We'll do chapter 3. Chapter 3 is a lot shorter. It's only like 25 slides. Maybe I'll just do that tomorrow night. Same time, same place, same channel. You know. But just make sure that you're working on this stuff, okay? Because I don't want... I know people are going to wait till next week to start this. And those chapter questions are, you know... And if you don't do them, you know, if you just, you know, don't really answer them, you're going to lose a lot of points because it's a lot of questions. It's going to be 125 points in your classwork category. So don't turn in incomplete work. Thank you to, yeah, they're long questions. They are. I know. I'm sorry, guys. That's how it goes. This is a lot. That's all I got for you guys, right? You want to do the intro as the outro? We'll do that as the last thing. But thank you guys for sticking around for those Ellie and Murray. Yeah, I'm on chapter 2 and it's taking forever. Yes. It is. So when you have an alumni, you know, like that came to my classroom today for lunch, just seeing out my story. It was kind of cool. We had like 30-something people in there. Just hanging out for lunch. Just, you know, catching up. And they say, oh, you guys didn't have a first week packet. You got it so easy. Just show them those, okay? Be like, listen, here. You have enough work to do. I'm not giving you any more, right? So that's it. You guys have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow, bright and early. I'll do the outro, and then I'll be out of here. Have a great night, everybody. Oh, I'm back. I got to end it. All right. I'm ending it now. See you guys. Bye, Ella. Bye, Mia. Bye, Victoria. Have a good one.